He said, "Hey, we got a call last night and your dad passed away." I didn't know how to react. I was going to be with him in a few weeks. You know, why would this happen? I blamed it on God. Just basically said, this is the type of God you're going to be, then I don't want to serve you. My name is Sonny Monteverdi. Hear my story. So I think as a kid, I wouldn't call it it was a fascination with my dad. My dad was just a great guy. And I remember even as a kid, I'll say it even today, but even as a kid, I always say, man, I want to be just like my dad. At 13, I remember my dad sitting me down at the table and, you know, he told me, hey, you know, me and your mom are gonna get a divorce. I remember walking out the front door and he had packed all his stuff in a van and like drove away. And I remember just watching the van go down the street and thinking, okay, well now what? The plan came about, hey, when you turn 16, you go stay with your dad. Dad's like, you come live with me at 16, you're good, you know, and you come up here. And so I celebrate my 16th birthday, everything is awesome, and getting ready to get out of school at the end of the month. And one morning I wake up and my mom said, hey, I got a call. She sits at the corner of my bed and she said, hey, we got a call last night and your dad passed away. I didn't know how to react. You think it's a joke. You think it's not real. Am I sleeping? Is it a nightmare? This can't be real. You know, I was going to be with him in a few weeks. You know, why would this happen? As a Christian, being brought up in the church, being brought up to know God and love God and serve God, and then to see all this happen, I blamed it on God, you know, and just basically said, this is the type of God you're going to be, then I don't want to serve you. And so at 16, after my father passed away, it made it very easy for me to say, you know what, I don't need this anymore. Not only do I not need God, but I don't need to be in this house anymore. After I got kicked out of high school, you know, I did my best to get my GED and try to make things work, but up until I was probably 18, 19, just made stupid decisions. Got in trouble, not just with people, but with the law, you know. Right before I was about to turn 21, I got picked up for something, you know. And the cops looking at my, you know, what they look up, rap sheet, I guess you can say. He's like, man, he goes, you've been in and out. He goes, haven't you? And I said, yeah. He's like, well, he goes, I'm sorry, but you're going back. And I'm thinking, okay, this is the story of my life, you know. What else is gonna happen? I mean, how can it just get any worse? And I remember we're sitting there in the rec room in the jail, and I'm looking at this piece of paper it's kind of like the news of the day or what have you, and I'm looking at the date, and it was my birthday. And I'm thinking, man, it's my 21st birthday, and I'm in jail. What do I have? I have nothing. I have nowhere to stay. I'm thinking, you know what, this is it. When people hit rock bottom, this is what I used to see, and here I am. And at that time, you start playing over, okay, well, where did it go wrong? Why did it happen? What did you do? And in all these situations, I mean, it really, even at 21 years old, went all the way back to, this all happened because my dad left. The divorce, and then he died. I remember that moment at 21 in jail and thinking, okay, this is it. This is the worst it's gonna get. Why am I even alive? And getting out, you know, just a couple weeks later, I went back to my apartment one night and I'm looking, I had this little cork board, and I don't remember putting this on there, but there was a little pin on it that had a Bible verse. And I remember seeing that and I'm thinking, I had to make a change. But it was almost, I didn't know how. And it was almost like the enemy was trying to convince me, no, this is you, this is the real you. And it wasn't. And I ended up dating this one girl that we're talking one night, and I literally asked her, I said, well, you know, why are you dating me? And she looked at me and she just looked straight into my eyes, man. And she goes, you know, because you're special. And I don't know why, but man, those words spoke to me. Looking back at it now, I mean, I honestly feel it was the Holy Spirit telling her or showing her to say that, because man, if you take from 13 years old into 25 years old, that's what I wanted to hear. That's what I needed to hear. The night finished and I remember going home and just breaking down and saying, Lord, I'm such an idiot. How could I be running away from the one thing that is my constant? How could I neglect something that is so good for me? You know, the Bible tells us that He stands at the door of our heart and He knocks. All we have to do is just open that door. Just let Him come in. I feel God has something special for you. You know, those words that I heard many years ago, that I was special. Perhaps you need to hear those same things. You are special. You're unique. You are perfect in God's eyes, and He wants to remind you of that every day. And you know, the funny thing is, the cool thing is that the young lady that told me that I was so special, I married that lady. Man, and 19 years later, we're married, and it's a beautiful thing. And God uses us to speak to other people that went through something similar like we did. So man, young lady, young man, if you're hurting and your worth is low, don't believe that deception. Don't believe the lie. God is calling, and He knows where you're at. He hears you.